everybody, I'm Jeffrey Lunnan.
And I am Monica Hickey.
And this is Volume Up by the Tease.
As you guys can see, I'm not Kelly, so I'm just going to say that out loud.
What do you mean? This is our co-founder who's been very generous and co-hosted previously. So I think like repeat co-host, you've definitely co-hosted more than anyone else on this pod.
I certainly provide edits on the pod. I certainly have feedback and thoughts on what happened.
This is true. Do you want to let our listeners into why Kelly is not with us today?
Oh, I mean, it's like the plague. Like she certainly cannot be on camera, let alone on mic.
No.
Like it would be, that's not it.
It's such a bummer to get sick in summer. So like, I know technically speaking, it's not summer yet. Like we've got a couple of days away from it. But we're basically, by the time this airs, it will be summer. There's nothing good about being sick in summer though.
No, because you don't need to be cozy. I mean, it's also like humid here. It's like 100% humidity. I think like the California, not those Canada fires or whatever. It's hot. It's hot. It's warm. It's icky. And just be like, no, I'm not here for it. So we all feel bad for you, Kelly. Get well soon.
Get well soon. You'll be back with us. And our listeners can deal with our shenanigans next week. But speaking of being camera ready, you did bring something to my attention.
Yes.
So I want to give you the space to be able to talk to it really quickly. This is mostly an audio medium, but there will be clips. And so it's important that you get this out.
Yeah, I appreciate you providing the platform for me. This is something that's really important to me. I have an amazing hairdresser. I've been with her for longer than I've been with my husband.
I was going to say for a while.
A really long time. I love her deeply. She does a great job listening to me and then telling me when I can't do the things that I do want to do and then making me look good. But she also is an avid Instagram follower and often will text me, "Oh my God, your hair looks so bad. You should have come in before this event." And so I did not know I was recording today. I have not been to her since early May. I mean, my grays go fast, man. Like we've got some serious grow out and the color is warm. So Jung, I apologize. I wouldn't have done this to you if I knew it was happening.
Yeah, that's fair. That's kind. Again, thank you for joining us with short notice. The other thing I will comment is you've been really on quite a journey in terms of hair color. Like for your wedding, spoiler, everybody, I think when we were many podcasts ago talking about the wedding, it was Monica's wedding. We went to Scott. And what a wedding it was. But blonde as hell. When I met you nearly a decade ago, it was not.
We can show some photos, Madeline. Madeline is our producer. I will be referring to her throughout the podcast.
Yes, senior digital producer without the respect on her name, unfortunately.
Sorry. We can show up some photos. I have been in this industry since I was young person, and therefore I have had every versioning of everything, including I had my sides shaved, I've had red, but naturally I'm dark brown. Like dark brown. So this is a different transition for me. I'm very excited. I love the blonde. It makes me look much tanner. And we know we love a tan here at Volume Up by the Tease.
Who doesn't love a tan? If you can't tone it, although you've been toning it too, so that's not fair to you. But blonde. So shout out to your colorist, to your hairdresser.
Yes, to Jung. I do feel like it's only fair for me to roast myself before we go into this next segment, which is our celeb photos of the week.
This is not charitable to these people, and we know that. Sometimes it is. But let's just get into it. So first up, we've got Ariana Madix, who is now, as we understand it, a Love Island host, and there's nothing else to it. There's no Vanderpump Rules. RIP to that show. This is a departure. She's known as being a blonde. This is not that. Monica, can you describe what do we got going on?
It is dark as dark can be, but shiny, which I really appreciate. I love a shine on some hair. Too long. Once you get that long, we get a little stringy, regardless of how many extensions we have in there, which I would say this is not her.
Oh, no. This is a wig. The wig is laid nicely, though. I mean, like,
yes, it does say Italian wig. Italia. Yeah. Fabulous.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's long. Raven.
That's a good description. Yeah.
Okay, so on
dominatrixy kind of, right?
The look definitely is giving. scale of 1 to 10, how are we feeling? I mean, shock value is there. So like I
Okay.
would give her high marks for that.
I would
Um,
say I don't know what she looks like aside from this. So I think it
blonde.
is definitely
Imagine blonde.
appealing.
Blonde to
Yeah.
blonde is our normal. Sort of
Okay.
like
Okay.
she's a wash
So
of beige normally. So this
major
is a
points for drama, then I would
yes.
say. And I
Okay.
think it doesn't wash her out because she's also a
No.
fan of the tan like we
Mm-hmm.
are.
Mm-hmm.
I say it's a win. I would say 10. Let's go.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. I'm also like,
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just here.
I was gonna say
So,
you're a guest here. We're gonna give it like a five. Five for effort.
oh my God. Ew. Okay.
The way I mean, like yeah, you're right. It's stringy at the end. Like we just
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
but the color, I like the shock. So yeah, five for yeah. You were kind. I don't have to be. All right. Next up, we got Danielle Brooks.
Beautiful. For her Emmy, yeah, the Tony Awards, the Tony
Hmm.
Award look. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. I'm gonna like disclaimer that I certainly am not somebody who should be critiquing. I don't have any qualifications or
That's
education.
that's very fair.
Just like a disclaimer, but I do think she looks absolutely beautiful. I like the, face hair a little bit, like it being on her face. And then I think the structure is pretty cool. The Tonys is drama, right? Like
All of a
that's what
sudden,
it's
no,
all
we
about.
did talk about this. I mean, there were some really out there looks, out there in a good way. Again, for the sake of disclaiming what we're
Yeah.
trying to say. Yeah, people really were experimenting. This is, as you say, like a very sculptural updo
Yeah.
featuring braids, which is exciting. So versus, other ways of making this happen. Hairstylist is infamous Tish. So shout out to Tish because
Tish.
she killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel strongly about the same sort of thing that you just said. I'm not gonna dog anybody
Yeah.
here. And I
No.
actually really love this look. So this one would be a real 10.
Real 10 out
What
of
is
10.
that?
I also, as a former theater girl, I am here for the drama and I'm here for the Tonys and like loved it. Cynthia like killed it last,
Oh yeah,
how
no,
many
Cynthia
weeks ago it
Erivo.
was.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think if there is an award show that deserves to be the drama, it is the Tonys, right? Like, who else are, what are we kidding? This is theater. So, bold looks,
Yes,
that's what we're here for.
exactly. All right. Hard transition to something that's a little bit lower brow. We've got Layla Leanne Taylor from the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Do you want to talk to me?
Yeah.
What do we got going on in
What do
this
we got going
image,
on?
this
So this
video?
is her video, right? And
Yes.
she
Yes.
published it. This is definitely a trend. Sorry, listeners, you don't know me, but I'm chronically online. So this is
Hmm.
definitely a trend we see on TikTok often, which is the back of my head is none of my business.
Yes.
Hairdressers, this is not a surprise to you, but
No.
it's basically people calling out when they see the back of their head and they can see their extensions in there. So we've got Layla and we've
Hmm.
got her watching a video of
Of
herself
herself on the show.
on
Yep.
the show where you can see her clip-ins. Not
Mm,
great. But you know
mm.
what? Despite it looking horrible, I think she gets 10 for calling it out,
For
right?
the
Like,
humor of us being
right.
self-aware.
Like instead of
Sure.
crawling under the bed and like, having a day, she's making Instagrams on it. Well, like
Yeah.
44,000 likes. Good for her. There we
Yeah,
go.
mom talk and mom gram survives. I feel differently about
Oh,
this.
okay.
Mostly because all of these girls on Secret Lives have their extensions, clip-ins,
Yeah.
sew-ins, halos showing every which way. And
So
it's
it's a
more
problem.
it's yes. So like it's more of a global issue that like yeah, she's commenting because I feel like she has to because they
Sure.
all are doing this and it looks awful. Including, I mean, let's just elephant in the room. There is a hairstylist on the show, Jessie, whom was interviewed by our own team here at the Tees when we went to Premiere Orlando. We visited her booth. She gets a lot of the heat because she's the one that is installing a lot of these extensions. And then
Ah,
she herself mentioned that, like, look, what they do when they're not behind my chair, if they're not brushing, if they're not, that's not similar to the trend of it's
interesting.
not my business, but it is your business, Jesse, and it's
Yeah.
not great.
Also, do you feel like the producer set them up for this a little bit?
Oh,
Because
for sure,
like
for sure. They're
otherwise you're micromanaging like everything else
yeah.
on a show
I
like
mean,
this.
this is like, is this how we're telegraphing authenticity? By like, well, if they were in on the gag, they wouldn't be showing themselves in this. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Something's wrong
I
with
will
it, is what I'm
say
saying.
in the real world, I never see my friends' extensions.
Like
Like
this.
I'm just gonna call it out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah,
see
yeah.
the back of their heads all the time. We're not showing. So it feels like sabotage. I'm calling it. This is
Oh,
sabotage.
but if it's all of them
Yeah,
at like
they're being
different
sabotaged.
by the
There's
producers,
some PA back there who's like, let me, oh, I think we need to put in a little bit more.
I think they're
Okay,
sabotaging themselves,
why do you
Monica.
need
I think that
clip-ins on the back?
this is that's what I'm saying. It's like this Utah curl thing where we're just putting in hair and hoping for the best, and the best is
I'm,
not coming.
I'm just saying, I don't think you need clip-ins in the back.
No, no,
It doesn't make any sense.
no, and so I'm glad that you're right. Like we're laughing about it, and by we I mean they. Literally, she is
Yeah,
posting
right,
about it.
right.
But
Yeah.
it is an actually laughing matter, I think. I'm gonna give her like a 0 out of 10 for this one. I don't want to see them. I do like the
Jesse,
show though.
Jesse did comment. She said,
Yeah,
don't even get me
yeah.
started.
No,
Laughing
she
face.
said that in person with us too. She was like, it's but like sorry, Jesse. It is your whole bag is about this show, and you're the hairstylist and you do their extensions. Jay-Z
Yeah.
styles.
18
LOL.
replies. See, this is my problem. I go through and I like look at everything.
Yeah, I do like we're being schooled. I'm not, I know this. You don't know this. Jessie has an extension brand. She is a hairstylist that has a
My
popular
goodness.
salon in Salt Lake. She is
Yeah.
installing these things
I'm
and then
calling
they
it.
are going to
This
camera
is
looking
this
a
is
goddamn mess.
sabotage. There's a PA. There's a PA and it's their job.
Okay,
Let's
whoa. Let's follow this through, this logic.
yeah.
Is it sabotage? So I know what you're saying. You're saying the
Yeah.
women themselves, the cast members, are being sabotaged. Is it
I think
more
somebody's
of a
sabotaging
plot?
Jesse.
That's what I'm
I
getting
think
at.
it's
Okay, so
like
if you're let's
a
yes,
competitive
okay.
extension brand is
Okay.
like,
And we
hey,
know
get a
that Salt Lake
job.
has a number of these brands.
They're like,
So
hey, get a job on the show. And then whenever you see someone, add some clip-ins in. And that is what's happening.
a stray clip on. Yeah, okay. I
And then
mean,
do we know if the like lead producer's a man? Because I do feel like, if there was a female in the room, they'd be like, hey, ooh,
let's clip this. Let's cut that. Yeah, I'm not gonna look that far.
okay.
No, I'm not gonna
Listeners, you
do
can look it up.
IMDb's work.
That's your homework.
Yeah. So you are fully thinking it's a conspiracy.
Oh yeah.
I'm liking that. Let's
That's what I'm going
listeners,
for.
how do you feel about that? Do you think it's all a setup? Is this I just yeah, I'm
In the year of our Lord 2025, we know what to do. Like we all are
no,
aware.
we do and they don't. And so that's
Right.
where I'm like, is it that I think it's more that they're just clueless.
No.
Okay. All right. All right. You're being again, here you are being very kind. When it's not necessarily warranted. Okay, all right, let's be done with this for now. We're gonna get
Okay.
into this week's top stories. The first one, which is deeply interesting to me, and also, let's just say it, a fucking disappointment.
Oh,
The article is from Harper's Bazaar, generally quite good. The title is Hairstylist Neil Farina shares how he achieves Beyonce's Cowboy Carter look every night. I'm just gonna spoil it for everybody. It involves sacred product. Like what were we thinking we were getting? I thought we were going to be talking about the different wigs that he's using, maybe some of the
mm,
glues, etc., to make sure that we are ready for stage because she's doing all sorts of hair
right.
tossing choreography, like something more interesting than we're using some sacred drops and like are we
But also, aren't
that
we talking about her color and then it like goes to product? Is
yeah, we
that
are. We're talking about her honey blonde being a signature, which, like, yes, it just is very, very obvious. And so I was expecting, I was hoping for more. I guess we shouldn't expect that, maybe is the lesson.
Well, I think there's two thoughts here from me is one,
Hmm?
Neil, come talk to
Yeah,
us and we
we'd
will
love to
have an
chat.
actual conversation about hair.
Yeah.
And then two, PR team, come talk to us and we can have a conversation
We
about
love
hair.
sacred on this pod, to
Like
be clear. This
we
is
talk
not
about sacred
any
all the
this is
time.
not a shade situation for
No.
anybody other than Harper's Bazaar for not doing right by
Right.
the queen fucking bee. This is not enough information, basically, for the hive, myself
Yeah.
included. I'm saying
I
I'm
was
part of
gonna
the hive.
say if
This is no.
we're
This is a
gonna
no.
post an article about Beyonce's hair. This is like some
It's not going to
Reddit
be
level shit,
it's
right? We
it's
need to
it's
get in
honey
there.
blonde. And
No,
we use sacred, which is literally what they did. So I see what they're doing. They're trying to come
no.
for the clicks. I gave
Mm-mm.
them the click. Here we are encouraging you all that are listening
Yeah, yeah. Go
not
watch.
to. Don't go. No, no, don't go
Don't
click on
go look
this.
at it.
This will not be in the show notes. We're not going to do solid to this team. Look at our content. Go to Neil Farina's Instagram,
There
and you'll
we
have a
go.
better sense of what's happening than what is accomplished in this article.
But
So I'm.
also, Neil, if your NDA allows it, would you
We'd
like to
love to
come on
have
the
you.
podcast? Because Jeffrey will interview you and he'll be much more
I
kind and
went
we'll
to
talk
opening
about
night, as
color.
I will say, until the cows come. We could
Jeffrey,
talk about that.
I
Let's
know
hear it.
you went to opening night, but here's my Beyonce story. And it is so upsetting. Everyone grab your
Oh.
tissues. So I was in LA, as I
Hmm.
often am,
Hmm.
because, we're traveling
Work calls.
around the
Yep.
world, blah, blah, blah. I'm in LA. My trainer's out there because it sounds really bougie, but it's my friend from high school who moved to LA. So, like, it's not
Whatever.
really
We don't need
that.
to explain.
Shout out to Maddie Fit. He's great.
We could drop that
Uh,
link.
but so I like literally get on the plane. It's an 8 hour situation to get home for me from LA.
Hmm.
It's a
Hmm.
whole thing. And I get off the plane and I get a phone call from him. And I was like, oh God, I hope he's okay. And he goes, hi, I have free Beyonce tickets. Let's go. And I was like, Matt, I just got back to Wisconsin. I was like, can I get
Yeah.
back? Literally, I will buy
Yep.
the plane ticket, which is
Yep.
cheaper
Yep.
than the
Cheaper than the
Beyonce
tick.
ticket
Yep. Yep.
to get back. And I couldn't get back in time. And then the next day, he sends me the videos. He was in the front row. He was in the front row of the Beyonce concert, and I missed it because I had to fly home to Wisconsin.
Yep.
And it's very
Tragic.
upsetting. And now we're
You
opening an
should be
LA
you.
office.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the reason.
That's the
Gotta go.
story. I would love that. Yeah, I mean, if you had one upped me in that way, it would have been diabolical. But
Oh,
again, I
that
would
would
have
have been,
celebrated it.
yeah.
I was right there with you, being equally upset that you couldn't turn it around fast
Yeah.
enough. So there's that.
No.
Again, Neil, please come back. You welcome. This is a safe
Welcome.
space. Unlike
Yes.
Harper's Bazaar, who did you dirty.
Not safe.
Okay. This is something that is maybe par for the course for us. The last
Yeah.
time you were here, we
Yes.
established that you are, in fact, our official royal correspondent,
Indeed.
in addition to being our co-founder. So let's talk about a trend. It's called the princess manicure. Why don't we talk about it for a sec, shall we? Vogue
Yeah.
is the one that did the dirty work here to bring it to our attention.
Absolutely. Well, I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of opinions here. So I will say, as the official royal correspondent of thetease.com, that one, Vogue, you're a little late. We've been seeing this trend for a minute, especially it really, really got big when Meghan Markle put out her Netflix TV show and she had
Hmm.
like her short nails and we had all those zoom ins of her re-bagging the pretzels. But I do really I love the floral situation. I like the little
Those
flowers on
flower sprinkles,
everything.
my
So
God, do I want
good.
them?
I don't want to buy her jams because I'm not a big jam girl, but I think she's about to launch like some pancakes or something with maybe like a maple syrup. I'll be
Mhm.
there for that, just not into jams.
Okay.
Um, jam's not my jam. But anyways, so that was like when we really started to see it take off. And then it was all over nail talk, which I am big on, especially when
Hmm.
I was planning for my wedding. So
Hmm.
ultimately, what is the princess manicure? It's a clean girl look. It's like a really simple aesthetic. We're looking at pinks, we're looking at whites, we're looking at nudes, and then we're looking at a really, really, really natural length with
Hmm.
not a square, not your Gen Z square, not your millennial oval or millennial almond. It's like very much like a natural length and natural texture.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say it's not really for me. I've got like some chubby fingers and I feel
Oh,
like I
you don't
need
think
the
it?
extension. So like where the mom talk ladies need their hair extensions, I need the nail extension. That's for me, but that's it. That's what the princess nail is. I think it's fine. Like summer,
Yeah,
you're like whatever. I also think it might be really nice for like moms, right? Because like
sure.
there's life
Low
happening,
maintenance.
low
It's
main, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Grow
I
out
mean,
system is probably okay.
sh more forgiving.
Yeah.
It's just it like I don't know. It makes me think of the sort of like glazed donut bullshit that happened, and it's just like sans the chrome aspect.
I am
Like
gonna
it's
say
just
though, I feel like I maybe just need to like be a little bit more transparent here because I just looked down at my nails, and while I didn't, I didn't ask for
again not
this is
a
camera. I
visual,
didn't,
but let's clip this one
I
if we
didn't
could.
ask
Get
for
real
a.
close. So for everybody
Okay.
who's not watching us right now, she does have princess nails as it is defined
Okay.
here.
I would argue I've got more
Maybe
of
the
a
shape,
millennial oval,
maybe
maybe.
like a sort of interpretation,
Yeah.
a shade
Yeah.
of princess nail.
It
Yeah.
technically was supposed to be like a peach, like a
Hmm.
peach.
A sort of naturally nude peach,
Well, it
skin
was a
tones
peach
adjacent.
ombre. They're
Hmm.
calling it like peachumcello, like limoncello, but with
Hmm.
peach.
Hmm.
Anyways, I'm not here for the princess nail. Next.
As she wears them.
So what's next? Okay. Actually, this is really exciting. So this week, our guest for the interview, Jeffrey, you did the interview,
I
right?
sure did.
Okay, cool. Jeffrey's interview this week was with Janine Jarman, who is the owner of Hairroin Salon and the founder of Curl Cult. Full disclosure, I've known Janine for years, literally years. She was not one of the people who did experiment on my hair with me when I was younger, but could have been because we've been together for forever. And she's always on the edge of what's happening next. And for her in 2025 and 2026, what's next is I'm going to say it, it's perms. Basically. And this isn't like your beauty school, labor intensive, chemically damaging perm. So check out her Instagram because there's a good example on there from Machine Gun Kelly that she recently did and it blew up in the media and everything, which is great. It's like an it person factor of really making your curls shine, whether you are what they call the Irish curl, which is what I have. Not great, to be honest. Check that out on TikTok if you're unaware. So whether you are an Irish curl or you actually have curly hair and you want to look at the definition, make the definition stronger, that's kind of what Cult does. Is it supports curly hair with less chemicals, less damage, and really helps you bring out your curly girl or guy, which is pretty cool. It also is really looking at hairdressers as experienced and talented chemists and collaborators. So it's very, very customizable, clean, science-backed. Cool. So that's what we're talking about in the interview today. And so that brings us to one of our favorite segments from a production perspective is if they were a hairstyle. So every week we ask our host who interviewed this week's guest what hairstyle the guest would be based on their personality in the episode. So Madeline, please enter a drum roll sound. Drum roll, please. Jeffrey, what hairstyle would Janine be?
So I don't want to be unkind to Janine because that's not what this is about. I think, like, when I think of Janine, it's like a messy top knot in the best way. Like, she's got shit to do. She's building an empire. It's not messy. It's like artfully, effortlessly tousled up, but it's definitely a top knot. Because she got shit to do. That's like
what
when
I want. Yeah, it's like what I want my top knot to look
right,
like, but
right. Not
like
the one that we wind up getting. It's like the one that you want because she's of course a hairstylist. She's not going to make it look like shit.
and she's
So
got
like
the curl.
no, it's like the perfect amount of
Yeah.
coiffed stuff going on. But yeah, it's a top knot for me.
I can hear that. I was maybe gonna say wolf cut, but I see a top knot too.
No, I think I've just because I've seen her at work. It's more that. And then obviously the conversation.
Janine was the artist who did the hair for the printed cover shoot, Jeff, and you were on set and creative directed that. So you guys go back too.
We do, and we get into it in our conversation. So if you want to, and I'm sure you do, hear more about Printed, you're just going to have to wait for the interview. But before we get to that, we're going to talk about Tease beauty news. These are the things that are happening on our sites. The first thing that is incredibly important because it is time sensitive. The article is called Everything You Need to Know About Entering the 2025 North American Trend Vision Awards. The North American Trend Vision Awards are back, and this year they're bigger than ever. As one of the most respected professional hair competitions in this industry, the North American Trend Vision Awards 2025 are now open for entries, spotlighting visionary colorists, stylists, and students across the US, Canada, and Puerto Rico. For the first time in years, 2 overall winners, one from Transformation and one from Editorial, will earn the chance to represent North America on the global stage at Destination 2026, joining top talent from around the world. This year's theme, Digital Prism, is a call to embrace the cutting edge, inspired by AI, created by professionals. For more about this, go to tease.com, including all of the deets. Again, July 1st is the last day to get those entries in, so make sure you're doing that is soon. By the time this hits, you got like a week and some change, but make it happen. So the question that I've got is really about the fact that you've been to NATVA over the years. What is it like? Spoil it for our listeners so that they know what they could experience if they were to become a finalist.
Yeah, I've met, like, more so than having been, I've met some of the stylists who've won NATVA and I've seen their careers grow. So I think what's really cool about NATVA or NAHA or any of these other opportunities is that you really can create a relationship with the brand and a platform if you put yourself out there. And what I don't think you have to do is make it so perfect, right? I think it's something where it's like, be yourself, show your skill, and really show people who you are with these entries. And I think that's what matters more than anything else. So again, I've had the great opportunity to meet many, many, many of the winners. Brenton Lee is one that comes to mind, and I had a chat with him the other day, and he's just still so lovely and wonderful. And I think he's done so much with the platform that he was built from winning this. So the first thing is, like, everyone should enter competition. If you are interested in growing your career, if you want to look at this industry as something, as like a jumping off point to a career, that's not behind the chair, right? So some people want to be behind the chair, they love it forever, and other people are looking for like what's next for them. Enter a competition. There's NAHA, there's NATVA, there's some other ones that we don't name here on this podcast, but there's lots of competitions, and absolutely enter one because I think it's a huge opportunity. Perfect. So the article that I picked, Jeffrey, is, I also have a lot of thoughts on this. So I don't know if you're going to get to talk or if it's just going to be me.
I can't wait.
But the article that I picked is called "Pink Hair is Everywhere," and I'm going to editorialize here again. And it talks about.
I wrote this article, by the way, so I'm loving this extra.
There we go. But it's talk about the pink hair trend that is allegedly back again. And, you know, some of the different stylists who have been working on the hair in the LA space, and some people who have had the pink hair. Here's my POV, and I'll let you like respond, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like pink hair is awesome if it is well done and it is maintained. And if you are not going to maintain that sucker, don't do it, because at some point it's going to look nasty. And I do mean nasty. Like, actually, honestly, here's some like insider baseball team. If you are watching us on YouTube or on Instagram, this is what your pink hair looks like, everyone. And if it's not perfectly styled, you don't have your hair oil in it, that is exactly what it looks like from the back, which is what we've talked about this whole podcast. So my POV is, unless you are like spending a lot of time in the chair, don't do it. The other thing I have to say is don't tell my hairdresser, dye my husband's hair pink in COVID. And that was really cool because we could just shave it off when it stopped looking good.
This is true.
But anyways, that's my POV. So I'll let you be professional.
Wow. Those were so many different hot takes. It's hard to know where to jump in. I mean, what we're
sorry to the editors of this podcast.
Yeah, so the editors of the podcast and to the writer of this article, me. So to be very honest, this piece with Bianca is about the sort of low maintenance approach. So for the one that is not really wanting to commit to the full blown, which we're seeing. So when we say that this pink hair trend, it's not really a trend anymore. It's pink is here.
It's just here. It's like always here.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's just like it's heating up because it's the summer and people like to experiment and all of these things. We're seeing the full saturation, the deep pink, which, you know, Carrot like a good Die Young's ex-girl, to this like very pastel-y ombre effect that we're getting with Bianca and Pravana. She talks about how she loves that shade, a specific pink shade from Pravana. You know, I really like the color. I'm just gonna say, you're not wrong. The backdrop in particular, it does that. Ultimately, it's what you wind up looking like. I like that. And I think
you like the like grow out.
I like the grow. I like the fade.
I think let
me back to, we were talking about being millennials.
That's fair.
I grew up with Kate Foley, who had, you know, the blonde pink wash that she would add into her conditioner. It was just like the hint of pink that just was so incredibly fucking chic. So I'm pro that it's here. It's clearly not going away. We talk about it as a trend because, you know, whatever. But yeah, I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying.
No, I don't disagree with what you're saying either.
It's worth it.
Millennials love their pink. We love it. We want it pink. We want our gold to be pink, you guys. Like, that is what millennials want.
We're keeping it alive.
I think for me, it's more of like if you can do the grow out thing and the fade thing if your vibe is like on. Yeah, but if you're like running to the grocery store in your sweatpants, it looks maybe not bad. And if you're like going to the office and you're not in your like hottest office fit, it looks. So that's my POV. It's like, you got either you're like cool, which like I'm not saying I'm cool. Like, I'm in a blazer, y'all. Like, if you're cool, you can do it. If you're not cool, you need to upkeep. You need to add your oil, your hair oils at the bottom of the end so that they don't get, you know, whatever. So there we go. Sorry, Jeffrey's really glad I'm here. Uh,
Wow. Wow. With that, thank you so much to our contributors and our editors for this week's beauty news. And don't forget to check out more stories like these, hopefully equally as polarizing, over on thetease.com.
Stay tuned for Jeffrey's interview with Janine Jarman.
Janine Jarman is a nationally renowned celebrity hairstylist and the founder of Hairroin Salon, the home of Hollywood's best-tressed. Born and raised in Huntington Beach, California, Jarman has been hair obsessed for as long as she can remember. At the age of 15, she teamed up with her best friend to offer hair and makeup services to her party-bound classmates. Jarman then moved on to beauty school, and after graduating, she immediately began shooting for the stars. Jarman steadily built a loyal client base until she was bit by the entrepreneurial bug in 2005. She purchased a failing salon and immediately rebranded and reopened it as Hairroin Salon. Heroin instantly became Tinseltown's newest obsession, garnering Hollywood clientele including Florence Welch, Tommy Lee, Kylie Minogue, Danica Patrick, and Fergie. For many years, Jarman was the key stylist and official hairdresser of the world's most successful female pop group, the Pussycat Dolls. Jarman was the creator of their signature look, which led to work with celebrities such as Christina Applegate, Britney Spears, Lil Kim, and Carmen Electra. Jarman has also been the principal hairstylist for television shows including Beauty and the Geek, The Pussycat Dolls Present, The Search for the Next Doll, endless commercial spots, and live shows like the MTV Movie Awards. In 2010, she burst into the national spotlight as a finalist on the third season of Bravo's hit show Sheer Genius. Jarman instantly became a favorite among the judges and was voted fan favorite of her season, standing out for her fearless hair creations, free spirit, and endless amounts of energy. Having naturally curly hair herself, she leaned into using perms to solve texture issues her clients were facing, but felt the need to reimagine the traditional perm process, its odor, and environmental impact. This led her to Italy, where she conjured up Curl Cult, delivering a simpler, healthier, more sustainable texturizing treatment with at-home curl support products even natural curls will love. Janine, welcome back to Volume Up, a repeat guest. How's it going?
Amazing. Thank you for having me back. I must not have done that bad of a job the first time.
Definitely not. We love a repeat guest, but we especially love you. So for those that are maybe not familiar, go reference the episode. We've put it in the show notes, so make it nice and easy for you. But a lot can happen in several years, and we're having you back because big things have been taking place. Salons have opened. We've done some collabing together, which we're going to get to. So bring us up to speed. What have you been up to since last you were here on Volume Up?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like a lot of the same, but it's that like looking back, I'm like, oh, I guess that we did do a lot
You
of
did.
different stuff. I moved a salon.
Uh-huh.
We fully launched Curl Cult. We're, in over 3,000 salons across the US. We are opening, like that's a big exciting. We're opening in Taiwan in the next couple months. I
Damn.
know, right?
Okay. You heard it here.
It's a good perm if you can go. Like our first international is an Asian market. So yeah, I'm so excited. We have a really good distributor partner. I went to Hong Kong, Cosmoprof, yeah, I don't know, 6 months ago, and got to meet a couple different ones and like, but from all over the world. And I only could dream that like one of the Asian countries would bring us on because it's been such like Japan, Taiwan, Korea have always been a deep sense of inspiration for me.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm like I'm gonna have to control my excitement. Like when I get there to launch, I'm gonna have to like try my best to play it cool, but I probably will fail at
Don't
that.
don't play it cool. Let's be excited. That's something to definitely be excited about.
Yeah.
So for those that are maybe not aware,
Yeah.
Curl Cult, very succinctly, can you give me like a couple of lines about the
Yeah.
brand?
And that's probably a big evolution too since we
Yeah.
last talked. We definitely, like now forward facing to everyone, we are a total approach to texture. So, of course, we launched with our patented technology, our new way to perm hair, softer, easier, less steps, smells way better, and gives you real natural looking curls and waves. That don't fry your hair off. So it turns out it's what the people wanted. And then more recently, we launched a cutting curriculum called Shapeshifter. Early 2025, we did that. And that is inspired from the kirigami, Japanese paper cutting art form. So like removing negative space, creating three-dimensional shapes. That's what I was inspired by when I wrote it out. And I really wanted a simplistic approach to cutting curl and texture because I think there's a ton of education out there.
Hmm. So much
Um,
noise.
so much, but a lot of it is really geared towards very tight, coily hair, really intense curls. And I saw a opportunity for a cut curriculum that could kind of move in between everything else. Like, yes, you can apply it to tight curls and coils, but you also just wiggly, wavy, and hair that you want to squeak some more texture out of. Shapeshifter is going to get you there and understand how to we use three principles: push, pull, and stack. And it really is that simple. That was the other part too. Traveling across the U.S. for the last couple of years teaching
Hmm.
perms. The first thing there, I'm teaching a lot of the stylists how to perm for the first time, how to roll and how to wrap, and they're like, cool, this looks great. How do I A, cut this? How do I B, style this? So I was like, oh, shoot, we need two more pillars. So now we have texture creation, um, the texture support with our shape shifting collection, and then texture enhancement with our retail and straightforward, again, approach of how to style for curly and textured hair, understanding what products to use, in what order, how much to use, how to diffuse dry, how to air style, how to finger sculpt, brush sculpt, all these different things that, yes, they actually are fairly simple, but they're so different than how you approach not textured hair. So yeah, that we've rounded out. We're like a full texture focused brand now from our perm, cutting, and styling.
Hell yes. So a lot of things have been changing
Yeah, I know,
and
right? As I was saying that, I was like, oh, nothing much.
yeah, that's
Just
those are some updates from last time.
yeah.
Janine, of the care products, what are
Yeah.
you most excited about? Because obviously you've got curl. So what do you use?
So, gosh, what am I the most excited about in terms of our styling and our retail products? We have a new ingredient that I'm playing with. It's
Ooh.
not a new ingredient, it's been around, but it's new for hair care and especially for curl care. And I've been researching it for years, annoying, which, like, side note, if you talk to any chemist, anyone that's been in my wake, they're like, whoa, careful extending any sort of information to Janine. 'Cause if anyone's remotely an expert at something and they're like, yeah, if you have any questions, I will have questions and I will
Yes.
hunt you down and I will ask you said questions. So yeah, this one secret ingredient that is going to be revolutionary. And I've used all the samples. I've tried to request more from my lab. They're like, no, you can wait till the bottles are filled and use it then. But that's going to be really exciting
Oh my God.
for our right. I know everyone's like, what the hell is it?
Yep.
Don't worry,
Yep.
you'll know. But it's really exciting and it really helps curl. It's that too, right? In designing products for curly hair, it's like, what are the problems that we're solving? It's not just okay, you have curly hair, here's something that works on it, which I
Mhm.
think a lot of times that's what
That
happens. And
is
it's
the
like,
beginning and end.
yeah, they're like, okay, you need more moisture. So they pile on moisture. So when I designed in the beginning, I was like, well, curls tend to natural curly hair, which, yes, we're a perm company. So I call it
Mhm.
supernatural
Mhm.
curls. And then natural curly hair are retails for bow. Because curly hair tends to have this same situation where it grows into a taper, losing a lot of its elasticity and protein properties towards the end. That's why it looks like more broken or more damaged.
Mhm.
It also is a flatter piece of hair and has a trouble. And for that reason, doesn't give off the same reflection that a sphere does. So a flat piece of metal versus when you scoop it around.
Mhm.
So for that, it's like, okay, we need shine and moisture, but pearls also need lightweightness. So it needs all these oxymorons. So I wanted to, when initially designing it, it's like, okay, what's the best vegan protein molecule that's dissipating? Because if it and dissipating in hair care terms means it rinses clean with just water. You don't have to shampoo it off. If you hit it with water, it'll either
It's
reactivate or rinse away, and it only leaves behind what you need. Pea protein, which was commonly or becoming more commonly used when I wanted to apply it in protein powders. What sparked it was I had just had a kid, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you can give them protein shakes, but like pea protein." And I was like, "Why is that safer than this?" And so I went down this whole
Mhm.
like rabbit hole of like the proteins. Pea protein is like the most perfect protein. I don't know if you know that. It is
No.
like it is multiplied exactly the same like as it's produced, so it's identical, identical, identical. So there was a ton that we could do within hair care. So the pea protein in combination with a Plex technology, which is, like the additives in that,
Mhm.
which supports elasticity and shine. So we need strength and shine, but in a weightless way. I did what we call PISM Protex. So that's in our perm, that's in our shampoo, our conditioner, and that's in our Magic Spell, our leave-in conditioner, which is our top seller by far. Um, Giving you weightless hydration and strength. Yeah. So it's like, even though it seems simple enough, that was the hurdle I was solving for was this, okay, how do I get hydration without it just being weight? How do I repair without it going too far and eventually making the hair feel even drier?
Mhm.
So yeah, that's why like Magic Spell is far and away, she'll always be my favorite. Um, but she really is a special leave-in conditioner. She's a very smart lady. She also has SPF in her.
I didn't know
And
that.
yeah, because, oh my God. Oh, you got me started. I just go full
Let's go. No,
tangent.
I want it. Yep.
Okay. Because when you're going swimming, it's recommended to pre-wet your hair with regular shower water
Hmm.
and a leave-in conditioner so that it's like pre-wetting a sponge. If a sponge is already wet with good stuff, it can't absorb as much of the bad stuff. So I was like, well, if we're already going to suggest to use it like that, we might as well throw some SPF in there because yeah, why not? So yeah, she's a all the things. So she's my favorite currently.
How do you come up with the names for these products? Just, I
Uh,
mean, because Curl Cult is so beautifully named, and all of the different products have such fun. But like, where does this come from?
okay, it's because I've always like, when that saying that was popular, I'm gonna date myself, like in the 90s, when they were like, it's a comb, not a wand, right? And I'm like, I disagree. Like have always, maybe I, have too much self-esteem, but I'm like, I literally am changing lives
Yeah.
with the hair that I do. Like it is a wand, and these are like, when we're mixing color, it's like been referred to, oh, you guys are like chemists, and
Hmm.
it's it's a very holistic, witchy experience when done correctly. So and I mean, then also too, going back to my like love of historical fiction and all that, the beautician and the witch, they had very overlapping careers a lot of times in the like, the olden days. And so I wanted our tools to actually feel like potions
Mm.
and to be named accordingly.
I
So
love that so much.
yeah,
I'm so obsessed with it. I think that it's so fun to
thanks.
have because I mean, like authenticity is such a gross word that I hate that I'm even saying it out loud. But it is like true to you, and it feels it,
Yeah.
and like there's something to it, and it just makes me happy. And I'm
And
glad that
like there's too much beige, if
yeah,
I'm being honest. Like
this
I
is
couldn't take it anymore. I'm like, "Ugh, this is so boring and safe."
nobody wants that. Consumers don't
No,
want that. Hairstylists don't want that.
I I don't think so.
No. Recently, in addition to, I mean, again, you talked about building out these pillars, but back to the perm.
Yeah.
Since we last connected here, the new perm that you've really pioneered has evolved in terms of the excitement, the acceptance. If you
Yeah.
could talk to me about what that's looked like, because you've brought in some biggies for some transformations, and I want to get into some specifics, but
Yeah.
generally, there's been a groundswell that's working towards something. What's that about?
Yeah. So I've always believed this even before I worked for my own company, that if we are really listening to consumers' um, needs, wants, desires, as well as looking around at what is going on socially,
Mhm.
that is the best design for hair products. So I think we are at a pivotal time right now. I want to relate it back to like, this like 60s and the marches and all that stuff. That's when we saw a lot of large textures come out.
Mhm.
Perming was really hot. Same, and then we saw it again in the 80s when women really entered the workforce in like huge in a really big, meaningful way. And we saw fashion like they were wearing shoulder
Exaggerated shape. Yep.
pads and
Yep.
yeah, it's this whole like taking up space. So I think as luck would have it, there's a couple things that is happening socially. We're ready to take up space. We're also ready to not take up more time looking and feeling great.
Mhm.
I think consumers have had it with this whole conformity beauty standard thing of like, okay, you're going to now like shadow your entire face to look like a sex robot. Like, like, come on. Like, how about we just look the best version of ourselves?
How about that?
So, and not like damage our hair in the process and not also break the bank to do it. And realize that most of us don't have every 6 weeks 4 hours to
Mhm.
spend in a salon chair. So those are all becoming increasingly important to consumers. And I'm not making it up. Like you talk to economists. So I try to listen, like I read a ton about science, about the economy, about social issues, but then I like to translate it of like, okay, but what's that mean in a beauty product? Like, how can I do my part and like solve for this like thing that we're feeling and that's around us, but like, how do we support, Julie that's going to get her hair done to have a look that hits all these markers, whether she realizes it or not, that it's like, all right, yeah, it's a perm, and I think for the men, like we're getting away from the trend was very like high and tight
Mhm.
but it was very Aryan. And I think it was, I know, sorry, but them's is the fact.
No, I mean you're
And
not wrong. Talking about social trends.
yeah,
There's certainly an
like it
uptick
was so
in
the names
soloism.
that in when that was popular,
Mhm.
the references people would give me, I'm like, that is inappropriate. There is another way to describe that haircut.
Mhm.
But yeah, very militant and like that is not the vibe right now. And
No.
it's not going to be, I think, for a very long time. Thank God, that we're moving to more expressive hair haircuts and texture and also welcoming texture. Because by the way, 60% of the population
Has.
doesn't have straight hair.
Mhm.
So we need to create products, haircuts, tools that encourage out the texture, support it better, do all these things. Or even if somebody does have straight hair or unmanageable hair, we have a soft perm that's not going to fry your hair, give you artificial texture, but
Mhm.
like just support it so it styles easier. Like
Mhm.
that's really at the end of the day what the perm is like. The tweens that are coming in, getting it done, I mean, the things they're trying to do to get that like banana hairdo, they're like hairspraying it on a what is it, like a cap? Doing that where it's like, yo, you're doing too much.
Yeah,
The
no, you're
mom's
too much.
round brushing it every morning. It's like we do a soft perm rolled forward, and then now that kid can wash and go, and it's not so hectic. So I think that combined with like wanting to rebel against these like very very regimented beauty practices we had, it's a perfect storm. Like, and I knew it. I knew 10 years when I started working on the perm, I'm like, "Bleh, this is exhausting. By the way, everyone does not look good in straight hair." And it was so much like we had swung too far
Absolutely.
getting people to like conform to this that I'm like,
Sleek,
nah,
snatched.
we're gonna flip out and get sick of this.
I think it's so interesting. So I want to sort of push on the one thing, which is guys. You've talked about guys a couple of
Yeah.
times. The high and tight and the super faded. Again, I love a a barber experience.
So
No
cute.
shade.
Love it.
However,
Yeah.
it doesn't work for everybody. Some face
No.
shapes are really just not, they can't pull off some of these cuts. The head shape,
Yeah.
there's all sorts of stuff. Um, and a boy perm, as we've sort of talked about with you, is
Yeah.
is very flattering. Very, helps
It
to.
looks good on everyone.
This is true.
And that goes to even women with textured hair and like width.
Mhm.
Like, oh, you can like hide behind it. It's not, you know what I mean? It's perfectly imperfect. And I think, and you get longevity. Do
Mhm.
you know how much like longer you can enjoy a cut that has texture in it? Where otherwise and listen, barbering's never going to go
Of
away.
course not. Of course not.
It wasn't a trend. It
Yep.
was like a whole category creation.
Absolutely.
Um,
Particularly
but
to move pomades and all sorts of gross stuff
yeah,
that's just gunking up people's
totally.
bathroom,
Well,
whatever.
and I'm finally this year seeing the barbers really start reaching out and perming because they're like, "Hey, we're sending all these clients to someone else. How
Might
hard
as well
could
be
this
able to do it.
be?
So
Yeah,
this
and
is okay.
make more money.
Let's okay. Talking about that, you can
Yeah.
obviously be certified in Curl Cult. So what has
Yes.
that looked like? How's the response been? Where are you seeing new hotspots of certification? I'm
Yeah.
curious.
I mean, the new hotspot would be the barbering. Like that, it I knew they were gonna come around. And I do love barbers so deeply because once they jump on something, they like
Yep, it's theirs.
devour a
Yep.
trend. Oh my God. And the content they're producing, like even recently we have Franz is one of our cult leaders. That's what our educators are called. He owns a
Of course.
barbershop up in the Bay Area. And oh my God, he said he does, I don't know, like a couple perms a day. And
Damn.
he's like really known, and people are coming from all over to get perms with him. He has his own line of perm rods called Native, and he's killing it. And barbers, it's I think easier having him lead the charge for the barbers because you know what I mean. You want to
Yeah.
see likeness. You're like, oh, he gets me. He's an actual barber. Even though I do a ton of men's hair, I always have. I really have for
You
whatever
really
reason.
have. Look at the
Yeah,
Instagram feed. Come on, gang.
yeah. But that's been our biggest hot spot. Where else? Anywhere where you have temperature challenges.
Mhm.
So, like, we've always been big in Colorado because it's so dry there. A lot of people don't realize that. And people that will move there, any of the migration cities too, where anybody's moved to, they're like, my hair used to be so curly and now I'm here.
Yeah.
So they get a curl quilt and it like solves for that, gives them more predictable texture. Where else is oh, like what we have this one salon, JC Penney salon in Cherry Hill, New Jersey,
Jersey. Yep.
killing it, doing so many curl quilt perms. Like,
Wow.
yeah, it's cool when you get the ones that just get it, and they've like they'll DM me. They're like, "Oh my God, I've been waiting for someone to invent this." So I think it's only going to be a matter of time. It's a slow, meaningful build because it's a new category.
Mhm.
And just like we'll say, right, the barber category creation, it took quite a few years for everybody to get comfortable doing the fades, the taper fades, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I feel like that's where we're going, which how awesome that we're only expanding hairdressers' skill sets and not keeping it so limited.
Well, and to what you were talking about earlier, expanding possibilities for clients. I mean, you talked about the
Yes.
hairstylist, the hairdresser as a magician, a beautician, that
Yeah.
sort of shared space. Like with what you're doing, you really do open things up for people in ways that maybe they're not even aware of. So I'm similarly very excited for you. And as I alluded to at the top of this, you and I got to spend some time together recently in your salon, Hairroin Salon in East Hollywood. Talk to me, if you could, about our most recent collaboration on Printed's cover.
Yeah, I mean, I had to put on a different hat that I haven't worn in a bit. But it was, oh, I love that. I love a juxtaposition moment for me. Yeah, we got to work together to do the cover shoot, your guys' first ever one.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it in person, by the
Well, this
way.
is my question. I know I have to send it to you. No, the cover is incredible. We worked with Pure Brazilian. They're obviously the sponsors of that cover.
Yep.
We can talk about the products we used in a sec. But let's talk about the vibe if we could.
Yeah.
When you were thinking about this, when we approached you, we were talking about we want to do something with you specifically, have you flex a little bit, get into that creative space.
Well,
Um,
I
we're
mean, I think we can agree that you and I are trouble if it came to like a budget.
yes, this is true.
Because, like, we don't need, like, keep us apart if you're trying to be like, keep it simple,
Mhm.
small budget. I mean, we didn't, blow the bank, but we were like, this also could have been like a 4 day shoot had
Absolutely.
we
And
been
we did it in
given,
one. And look at
we
us. We saved
did.
everybody all that money.
Yeah. And we were inspired by, are they called jacarandas?
The jacarandas, yeah. I think
Yeah.
in English, I don't know how you say it. I only say it in Spanish, but yeah,
It
sure.
sounds way better in Spanish. My Spanish speaking kids would kill me. They always are like, oh, it's so embarrassing how you say stuff. Um, those are the beautiful purple trees that bloom like the second it gets hot here in LA. Typically in spring, we're inspired also by, so yeah, kind of the terroir of Los Angeles. The bougainvillea, those like beautiful pink bougainvilleas. We've all the like almost it was like in alleyways, all this hidden beauty of Los Angeles. Then lightly inspired by like Chicano culture, lowrider culture. We didn't end up where I had grand plans. I'm like, I'm gonna get a lowrider here. I
Back
was
to
like,
we can
all
spend
right,
some money.
yeah, right. But I think we did it. And then the other cool part was I got to just go to the hair shop and get
The hair shop.
hair.
Oof. So much
OMG.
hair. Like inches on inches on inches. Two incredible models, but yeah, let's talk
Yeah.
about that. I mean, you were like a kid
Ugh,
in a candy shop. You got the
it,
VIP treatment.
it was epic. Never have I ever. Yeah, they were like, yeah, you can get that. I'm like, and I can get a ponytail and I can get bangs yeah, I got to get all the stuff and we played with all of it. We used everything, which is so fun. I think using hair extensions like these, both the models had beautiful hair to start with. That's always important when selecting a model. Um, but getting to like transform them quickly in a photo shoot and using extensions in that way is helpful because like the extensions we washed and preset all of them ahead of time, like curled the ones, did all the things so that I could literally clip and go and only have to set and style the model's hair. So that's a hot tip if anybody needs. That's something I've always done. I am really good at early in my career. I did started in LA doing the Pussycat Dolls. So
Mhm.
I'd have to get through
Humble, casual.
I mean, a lot of people. And it was before they were a pop group, they were a burlesque troupe of
Hmm.
15. So in order to
Even
like,
crazier.
oh my God. I know when they like, that sounds terrible. When they kicked half of them out, it got a little bit easier. But that was a trick. That, and I worked for a lingerie company where we would do on average, like maybe 100 outfit changes in one day. So same thing, I would use like the week before, preset the looks and grow my concept.
Mm.
So even when I would go to set, I would have the wardrobe organized, and that's what we did, organize the looks so that I could grow the hair how I wanted to. So we'd start with simplest and then grow it from there. Um, and that's how you can not be the one everyone's yelling at. I did learn that early on working with great photographers where they're like, when she had a hair. So if you
You were so
pre-prep
good.
stuff,
I mean, the time management, I just like
thank you.
for everybody that wasn't there in the room, like Janine, there was not a moment where we were not waiting for her. We were waiting on other
You
things, not her.
you will not. I don't because I really every shoot I've ever been on, every production, I respect all of our time. Even and I've been so lucky that most of the shoots I've done are for hair companies. So like for all intents and purposes, technically I am the most important, I guess. But
You
because it's
are. No,
hair,
especially, I mean, this was a hair shoot, and
yeah.
you were the one that was, ready with it, super respectful of everyone's time, in
But
ways that
you
were
have to, You
Well,
have to be.
you don't
Well,
have to be.
I mean, you should
Janine, let's
be. Well, because here's the other thing too is like it's so boring to only get one look. And like I don't like those odds. I want I want to get enough that we
Mhm.
could that we have like which I know this happened, right? We had so many that we could have used. I want to make it hard so that we really are like, oh, this one's good too. Oh, this one's good too. Rather than like, oh, I guess we'll go with this one. So, but if you're taking your sweet ass time, like you're not going to get a bunch of looks. You're not going to get a bunch of options. And it's also going to be a really boring, exhausting shoot because it drains on the crew. They want keep it exciting, keep it fun, and be afraid to like have a toss away. You know, there's
Mhm.
some where I'm like, that's ugly. All right, did you get enough pictures?
Moving
Let's
on.
redo it. Yeah, that's okay.
Yep.
Fail, but fail fast.
And no, I think that that's couldn't be said better, and like really good advice for anybody. I think like not just in the context of a shoot. I mean, fail fast, get it over with. It's not the end of the world.
Well,
Our
updos. People have said that so many times. It's updos. They're like, if it's not working, like, I'm so embarrassed to take it down. I'm like, girl, I have washed somebody's entire curled head. You know, like, who cares? Like, do what you got to.
Yes, yes. I mean, and sometimes it calls for that. Our girls, as you said, like it was very much inspired by LA, LA, which had been really going through it and continues to go through
Oh,
it as
I
we are
know.
recording right now, with troops in the streets, crazy times. And I think it was important for the two of us to really have LA feature in an obvious way, and I think that we
Yeah.
accomplished that with some of the shots that we got. You mentioned this. I mean, so an updo can be a quick and easy thing, makes a big impact. We did have one of our models making use of all of that hair shop hair, the longest pony, snatched to hell.
Longest.
So so good. But you were just whipping that back. Like that took you hardly any time too. And she had a lot of hair to
Well,
begin with.
I have really good ponytail skills. Like, if there's anything like competition wise,
I was gonna
I
say
can do.
pro tip. Can we can you share
Yeah.
what's
Well,
some
I did
secrets?
Ariana Grande's ponytail for years.
I don't think
So,
people know this. I
yeah.
knew this.
Yeah, you can blame me for her 3 years of boring hair. But that's
that
what she
has
wanted, all
been
right?
that has been copied now by
Yeah.
every single guy. Like
Thank
every,
you.
I'm
You're
just, I mean, so,
welcome. So there.
so
Uh, but so for her ponytail, like what makes a good ponytail is one that does not hurt the person.
Mhm.
That is very important because I think that gets overlooked sometimes. And if you're like having to put so many pins in it, you need to take it down and redo it to like get a good anchor. So I start with, I'll like, you want me to verbally tell you how I do
Yeah,
it?
yeah, hell
So
yeah.
I start with like top of head, slightly behind it, and then angled to the back of ear. So not like a ear to ear over, but like in the back.
Hmm.
Um, then and I typically do it like right where someone would have a flat spot because it's if especially if they do have a little bit of a flat spot there, it's really comfortable to lay something on that.
Huh.
Sorry, it means their mom didn't love him, didn't hold him enough, but
Sadly,
whatever. It's great for a pony.
not your problem exactly.
Not my problem. Um, I then blow dry, like wet with mousse and water and blow dry everything up and back. Well, I'll actually do that before I do the parting, but I'll blow dry that everything back. So everything's already working towards that. So you're not fighting with calyx to get it in. Split it like that and then do a ponytail in the back, like a good firm ponytail. And then using a ponytail piece with Ariana, we used a partial wig. We would cut the scalp out of like the front half out of a wig
Ah,
so that you could wrap it and it gave more of a waterfall, longer effect. And a lot of times we could get longer wigs than we could like
at
ponytails.
the time. Yep.
And how
Talk
it
about an
was,
evolution.
yeah, how it was stitched was always really nice, where ponytail was a little more like ponytail piece is narrow. This was wider and you can like pull it and wrap it around. So it gave this great like fullness. But yeah, we'd take a wig and like cut it out. Yeah, we would do that and then pin that in. And then I'd pull the rest of the hair around and then take an elastic. A lot of times I'd have like the makeup artist hold it and then I'd take the elastic and tie it off like that. Yeah. And you'd like blow dry as you're working it, blow dry it back, some hairspray. But the Bumble and Bumble hairspray is my favorite one because it
Mm.
stays wet but then dries clean. Really important. So yeah, that's my snatch pony.
Oof. I
And you
mean,
can like, I learned that initially with the Pussycat Dolls. And I mean, Pussycat Dolls are really hardcore dancers. So I learned to do stuff like you could basically go swimming in and be fine. That was my,
I
my
mean, their hair
princess.
was never whack, so
No.
there's that.
So
That's
there's
saying
that.
something. With our look, obviously, we talked about this. I mean, it was sponsored by Pure Brazilian. Pure Brazilian products were on deck for all of our looks.
Yeah.
Any hero products that you remember?
Their cream. They have like a beautiful polishing cream that is so nice. You can blow it in wet or you can finish with it dry. So that was really great. Had a nice sheen, not a greasy shine, which is important. So a good way to polish those ends.
Oh, I'm just thinking about this. I mean, it was not super hot. We had good light to start in
It's
the day.
kind
It
of
was,
cold.
yeah, it was kind of like a chilly thing.
Well,
But when you're
remember we
looking at
couldn't
these
get our
images,
outdoor shot because
yeah,
it was so windy.
I
That's
mean, we
right.
tried. We
We did.
the wind worked in our favor to start, and then it worked against
Yes.
us.
And then it did not.
Then it sure didn't. And
But
you got to
see,
pivot.
that's we had a throwaway shot. And if we like only had that, it would have been disastrous. See, so you got to move on. Don't cry about a windstorm.
It could be worse, and that's always the other thing is,
Yeah.
as you said, we had some backup shots. When you're looking at some of these pics, are there any of them where you're like really, really stoked?
I loved for the shoot, I loved that. I mean, this is like selfishly it always makes me so happy when the girls are so happy. Like
Oh my
they were
God.
giddy.
They
You know,
could
that's
not
not always the
contain.
case for
Yeah.
models. A lot of times they're like, oh my God, I look crazy. And I have to like pretend that I feel pretty. Where they really
You're
felt
so right.
pretty.
They were taking selfies
Yes.
every which
And they're like,
way with it, and I mean they had so much hair in. They
yeah,
were, I mean, who wouldn't feel, I think. I mean, again, your hands were in their hair. They had all of that hair.
oh,
Like it was a good day for them.
Cher. We were inspired by Cher. Like we had a layer of
Yes.
Cher on it too.
That is the other thing. Because we were thinking like, I mean, you and I like were really riffing. But it wouldn't have happened obviously without you being as involved in every step of this. And the hair looks incredible. So congrats. Thank you for
Yeah.
pulling this out because you really did. I mean, and this is again in the
Literally
running this
anytime.
brand too, like and the salon. I mean, that's the thing. Like it just worked out that we were able to do it. And I'm so glad that we were. And the team was incredible. Shout out to Jamie. Shout out to Illy.
Yeah, everybody's so good. The yeah, any creative distraction I can have, I will take. Like please make me forget that I have to like do spreadsheets.
We do what we can. We'll just have to team up for issue number two. And we will be sending you your very own copy of Printed in the
I
mail.
can't
Yeah,
wait.
I'm really excited for you to have it and to feel it because the other thing is like it's so exciting to like be able to sit with it, thumb through it, return to it. Again, we're gonna have to team up. We'll do another one. This
Deal.
was so much fun. Let's, if we could, do some quick
Yeah.
takes, and then we'll let you get back to building your empire. So
Okay, thanks.
you've talked about some clients right now.
Yeah.
Some biggies over the years. I'm curious, has there been like a single most crazy request that you've received from a client where you're like, oh, this stuck because it was so bonkers? Or no, maybe not.
Oh God. I mean, yes. I won't name the name of the
No, no, yeah, we
person
don't want
because
that.
it's a celebrity.
Okay,
But
that's
they,
enough. That's enough of a carrot.
I was, and you'll appreciate this as a dad. And married to a doctor, like even more so.
Okay.
I was, I think, 4 weeks away from my due date, and I worked. I mean, I went into labor behind the chair. Like I wouldn't have had it any other way. But like legally, you're not allowed to fly
Yeah.
for very
Yes. Very.
obvious reasons because of the. It's just the reality. Like
Mhm.
going that high up could put you into labor,
Mhm.
and that's an inconvenient place to be in labor.
True.
And
True.
legally, you're not. Like I couldn't even, and I was a giant pregnant person, so I always got questioned on flights and had to carry like paperwork. I'm like, I don't have twins. I'm just giant. Um, yeah, the client wanted me to fly to them on an island because their hair was really tangling and they
Mm,
wanted
hate
it.
that.
detangled. And I did have a hairdresser that I found on said island to do it, but I was like, oh, I can't, I'm
Yeah, yeah.
legally can't. And they said, you can take my plane, which that's where I was like, okay, so the problem's not which airplane
Yeah, 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 yeah.
to take.
It's the whole
It's
thing.
the I don't
It's
want to be on TMZ getting, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, no,
yeah.
this isn't my child's like welcoming to the world. Like, so and so had a baby on so and so's plane. Like,
Yeah.
oh God.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we had to have a heart to heart that I was like, they were like, oh, it sounds like you've got different priorities. And I was
Yeah.
like, I
Staying alive,
do. You're
having this
right.
kid cook.
So weird.
I
Yeah,
feel like
so
that
that
maybe tops some of those when you said that's crazy. That's you delivered. Thank you.
and
And
I
then you did
think
deliver.
and I think too, like this person's not bad or in a lot of
Yeah.
like I've had so many crazy I think they're just gets they get this is what happens when you're like working in a silo,
Mm.
and not a lot of no's. So you lose the plot. And that one I saw that person, I don't know, like a year later, and we were totally cool.
Mm.
But it was like also it was mutual. I was like, yeah, like I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I have enough jobs. I'm good. Um, yeah, but that was weird. I was like, what the F? Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow.
And and I'll tell you the second part of that story that's not appropriate.
Mm.
That's like too much information. Another time over wine, just me
Okay.
and you.
Okay. Yep.
Okay?
Okay.
Because
Perfect.
it's funny.
Can't wait.
And if anybody hears this podcast and you want to hear that part of the story and you see me somewhere, you can
Send
like
her some wine.
not on a microphone ask me, but like come up to me and I'll tell
Yep.
you.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Careful. They'll do it.
I know.
Janine, what is your go-to song, playlist, or podcast to listen to when you're working, if you listen to things? So this has become controversial. Some people are very about being quiet and having silence when they're working. Others are not. So I want to know, where do you sort of land?
Oh my God. I torture everyone because I don't ever not have music on.
Great, great.
Um,
I did know this about you, but
yeah, like I can't, even in the mornings, my whole family's like, can you turn the music off? Like the second I wake up in the morning, like it helps me keep time.
mhm.
Um, my playlist, I actually made a playlist for, what did I call it? Crow Cult Sounds of Summer. And it's inspired by like our blogs and like the hair we're seeing right now. I, of course, have MGK's song on there, but also some other stuff. Like I have just also to the vibration of what summer so far is and how I
Mm.
feel it's going. Like we have a Peaches song on there. So it's like a
Yes.
rebellious kind of cool. But yeah, it's on Spotify. If anybody wants it, Crow Cult
We are
Sounds
gonna
of
drop that
Summer.
in the show notes. That will be
Okay.
something that I'm sure people will be looking. I'm looking forward to the playlist. You've got good taste. So
We have playlists for every theme. So like whatever theme we're dropping, if there's like a new collection, like even the
mhm.
Shapeshifter had a whole industrial metal, like weird Grimes, all that. So yeah, the music really helps me like begin to start the vision.
Mm. Let's see.
So
This is
yeah,
why we ask. Okay.
yeah.
What is a bucket list item that you want to check off in the next 6 months, if you can? I mean, again,
Oh,
you're a busy lady, but if you could, what would it be?
ooh, okay. I mean, the next, right? I, what do I want to do? There's so
I
many
can't answer this.
things. Like, there's so many like business things, of course.
Sure.
But yeah, like, oh my gosh, what a big question. I want to, yeah, in the next 6 months be fully launched in Taiwan. Like, that's a big focus for me. And I would love to, in the next 6 months, be um in like double our locations that we're in. Like I really think we've laid the groundwork and we're poised to just amplify all of our efforts and energy. So like I'm looking to double. I'm
Hell
looking to
yes.
double what we did last year, double what we've done this year, and yeah, just really explode across the map.
I want that for you. And then we can have you
Thanks.
back on to talk about it.
Right?
Okay. current social media trend that you just don't understand. And you've
Okay.
been part of a few of them. And again,
Yeah.
you mentioned Machine Gun Kelly, going viral with that.
That went well. That did well. One that I don't get that the kids are into. 'Cause I have a 11-year-old and
Mm.
she's
Prime.
not on social media, but she still like by osmosis
Yeah,
gets
yeah,
to
yeah.
know
Can't
the
escape it.
dumbest stuff. Um, it's called Italian brain rot. Oh yeah.
Oh no, what is this?
It's other stupid words like, like skibbity toilet and all
Oh
that.
God. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
there's like a I don't think it's minions, but it feels like minions language.
Hmm.
And there's a song. I apologize for you now looking it
Yeah,
up,
I'm gonna
whoever
Google it.
listened to
Sorry,
that.
gang.
Yeah, but oh man, it's like one of those things where I'm like, okay, you're allowed to play this once a day, and then we turn it off.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to having that play for just that one time and then never thinking about it
Yeah.
again.
And don't do it around your kids because then
No,
they'll be
no.
like,
She
I
then they
love
probably already
this.
know. That's the
Because it
danger.
has that, whatever they do with those things, like Baby Shark, all those things, Cocoa
Yeah.
Melons,
Yep.
has something underneath that's like hypnotic.
It's true. Marketing geniuses.
That's one of
Uh,
these things.
yep. Okay, last question and then we'll let you go. If you could have an unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of your life, what would you pick?
Sundays, the day, not the ice cream.
Okay.
I
What
love
is it about a
Sunday.
Sunday?
I love it because like typically I do all my like housework and cleaning and stuff and prepping and shuttling on Saturday. Like Sunday is like my one day, real day off. And I try my hardest not to work on Sundays. So yeah, Sundays. Like, and I just could really use a few extra.
I think you've well established why that would make sense for you. I want that for you. If you could get them,
Thanks.
I'm
More
sending them your way.
Sundays.
Yeah, more Sundays.
You like, I had to clarify too. I'm like, not the ice cream.
Because I could go for that too.
I mean, that doesn't
But
suck
no, the
either.
time thing and yeah, having that for that's probably a better pick. Janine, an absolute pleasure. I'm so happy to be able to connect here and was so thrilled to be able to connect with you creatively for Printed. We'll have you back on after you've launched in Taiwan. We'll talk all
You
about that.
better. I know it's just the beginning. We're going to do big things. All of you listening to, like, I know whoever listens to this are the like extraordinary ones in our industry. This is your sign. It's time to like really invite texture behind the chair. Lean into Procol as a way to get there. That's what I built this for was not just like, okay, here's the product. It's really like let's help you feel comfortable, feel capable, and get your clients excited about leveraging texture as well.
Hell yeah. Janine,
Yay.
before you go, where can people find you? Where can they go?
Yeah.
Drop it, and then we will accord. Everything's going to be in the show notes as well, but
Okay,
say it out loud
perfect.
if you could.
So on the socials, everything's Crowcult, crowcult.com, at Crowcult, on the TikTok, on the Insta, all the things.
Easy.
If you want to follow me, you can. It's
People want to follow you.
pretty mom. But I do have, I have cute kids, cute dog.
OG Bravo Celebrity, you're selling yourself short. Like
Oh
hair
my God. But I
legend.
don't
Come on.
post anything like that. I'm like, you know, mom stuff. But it's Janine Jarman. And yeah, my salon is heroinsalon.com. Go to crowcult.com though, get certified, check us out, and yeah, keep us posted.
How was it, Jeff? How
I
was
mean,
Janine?
Janine's the best. I think everybody knows. Like our conversation was free flowing in the best way, as it tends to be. You know her
Yeah?
personally.
Hell yeah.
But I'm so excited about Curl Cult. I think like it's obviously the biggest fucking thing. And yeah, I'm happy that she's receiving her flowers. Happy to have talked about Printed and our experience collabing. And look forward to more collabs in the future.
Speaking of what's coming with Curl Cult, I will announce it here. But the
Woo!
July Hello Salon Pro box will actually feature Curl Cult. So go ahead, sign up for the box. It is $24 and you get 5 full-size product from the back bar. It will be Curl Cult. The other thing you get when you sign up for the July Hello Salon Pro box is indeed your own copy of Printed. So it seems like a win-win. If you love Janine, you need this box at the end of the day. Maybe we can get her to like sign some or something. I think that would be
I
kind
would
of
love
cool.
that. I would like a signed copy.
But anyways, be sure to hit subscribe, rate and review, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok at Read the Tease, and send questions to volumeup@thetease.com. Also, to purchase Hello Salon Pro at thetease.shop.
Volume Up is a Tease media production. This episode was produced by Monica Hickey, who co-hosted, and Madeline Hickey. James Arbache is our editor and audio engineer. Thank you to our creative team for the custom Volume Up theme song and for putting together the graphics and videos for this episode.